Have you ever wondered how one man could defeat over 60 opponents in duels without ever losing? Or how he wrote one of the most influential books on strategy and philosophy in history? In this video, we are going to explore the life and legacy of Miyamoto Musashi, the legendary Japanese swordsman who lived by his own code and pursued excellence in everything he did. Miyamoto Musashi is widely regarded as one of the greatest swordsmen of all time, and the founder of the Niten Ichiryu style of swordsmanship, which uses two swords simultaneously. He is also famous for his book, The Book of Five Rings, which is a classic treatise on strategy, tactics, and philosophy that has influenced not only martial artists, but also businessmen, politicians, and military leaders. But who was Miyamoto Musashi? And how did he become such a formidable warrior and thinker? Let's find out. Miyamoto Musashi was born around 1584 in Harima Province, or Mimasaka Province in Japan. His father was Shinmen Munisai, a renowned martial artist and master of the sword and jutei. His mother died when he was very young, and he was raised by his uncle Dorinbo, a Buddhist monk. Musashi showed an early talent for swordsmanship and had his first duel at the age of 13, when he killed a man named Arima Kihei with a wooden stick. He then left his village and embarked on a journey of self-improvement and challenge, seeking to test his skills against the best swordsmen in Japan. He fought in many battles during the turbulent period of Japanese history known as the Sengoku, or Warring States period, when feudal lords fought for supremacy. He fought on the losing side of the Battle of Sekigahara in 1600, which established the Tokugawa shogunate as the dominant power in Japan. As a result, he then became a ronin, a masterless samurai who wandered the land in search of adventure and enlightenment. Musashi claimed to have fought in more than 60 duels in his life and never lost a single one. Some of his most famous opponents were Yoshioka Seijuro, the leader of the Yoshioka school of swordsmanship, Sasaki Kojiro, a master of the Nadachi or longsword, and Muso Gonosuke, the founder of the Shinto Muso-ryu style of jojutsu or stick fighting. Musashi's duels were often dramatic and unconventional. He sometimes arrived late, used unconventional weapons, or fought in unusual locations. For example, in his duel with Yoshioka Seijuro in 1604, he arrived late and provoked Seijuro into attacking him. He then dodged Seijuro's strike and counterattacked with a bokken or wooden sword, breaking Seijuro's arm and defeating him. In his most famous duel with Sasaki Kojiro in 1612, he arrived even later than usual, and carved a wooden sword out of an oar while on his way to the island where they were supposed to meet. He then faced Kojiro on the beach and used his longer wooden sword to parry Kojiro's Nadachi. He then struck Kojiro on the head with a powerful blow that killed him instantly. In his last duel with Muso Gonosuke in 1614, he agreed to fight with only one sword instead of two. He then used his superior speed and agility to avoid Gonosuke's attacks with his jo, or wooden staff. He then disarmed Gonosuke with a swift cut to his hand, but spared his life out of respect. After this duel, Musashi retired from dueling and devoted himself to teaching, writing, painting, sculpting, and meditating. He founded his own school of swordsmanship called Niten Ichiryu, or Two Heavens as one style. He taught his students not only how to use two swords effectively, but also how to cultivate their minds and spirits according to his philosophy. Musashi's philosophy was based on Zen Buddhism, Taoism, Confucianism, and Shintoism. He believed that one should strive for harmony with oneself, nature, and society. He also believed that one should seek perfection in all aspects of life, not just martial arts. He advocated for simplicity, flexibility, pragmatism, and self-reliance. Musashi expressed his philosophy in his masterpiece, The Book of Five Rings, which he wrote in 1643, 2 years before his death. The book is divided into 5 chapters, each representing one of the elements of the Japanese cosmology: earth, water, fire, wind, and void. In each chapter, he explains the principles and techniques of his swordsmanship, as well as the broader implications for strategy, tactics, and philosophy. The Book of Five Rings is not only a manual for sword fighting, but also a guide for living. It contains many profound and practical insights that can be applied to any situation or endeavor. Some of the most famous quotes from the book are, "There is nothing outside of yourself and that can ever enable you to get better, stronger, richer, quicker, or smarter. Everything is within. Everything exists. Seek nothing outside of yourself. Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. You must understand that there is more than one path to the top of the mountain. Do nothing that is of no use. If you wish to control others, you must first control yourself. You can only fight the way you practice. From one thing, no 10,000 things. It is difficult to understand the universe if you only study one planet. Perceive that which cannot be seen with the eye. Musashi's journey led him to a realization that transcended the physical aspects of combat. He understood that the way of the sword was not just about defeating opponents, but about mastering oneself. He famously wrote, "The ultimate aim of martial arts is not having to use them." Musashi died peacefully in 1645 at the age of 61 in a cave in Higo province. He was buried with his sword and a wooden statue of himself that he carved. He left behind a legacy of unparalleled skill, wisdom, and artistry that continues to inspire and influence people around the world. Miyamoto Musashi was truly one of history's greatest warriors and one of the most fascinating figures in Japanese culture. He was a man who lived by his own code and pursued excellence in everything he did. He was a master of the sword, but also a master of himself. His story reminds us that the pursuit of mastery and enlightenment is not a destination, but a lifelong odyssey, and that every step taken on this path brings us closer to the essence of our true selves.
Thank you for watching this video on Miyamoto Musashi. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos on practical life wisdom. Now it's your turn. What is one lesson from Musashi that you can apply to your own life? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, keep seeking and keep growing.